Welcome back, everyone, to Between the Lines. My name is Mason, and in this series, we're going through each division. We're giving you the win totals. We're telling you who's winning the division. And today, we're going over the AFC East. And once again, we're bringing on our buddy Raphael over at MyBookie to give us some insight. So without further ado, let's get into it. Raphael, how are we doing today? Thanks for coming on once again. Excited to have you.
Excited to always be with you talking some football. And we're talking to the AFC East today. The two-team AFC East, because let's face it, the other two teams are just there to sell jerseys, sell beer, and
Usually
lay
how it
around.
goes. Usually how it goes. Let's go over one of those teams to start, just to get the bottom of the pack early with the New York Jets. I mean, oh my, what's it like to be a Jets fan? I know you're not a Jets fan, but what do you think it's like to be a Jets fan?
Oof. I don't know. I was a Cubs fan in the 80s and 90s and stuff like that. So it's probably the same type when we were always called the lovable losers. Our phrase was wait till next year. So it's probably the same, but I think the worst part is for the Jets fans, they have a team that's won a Super Bowl, that's had an elite quarterback, Hall of Fame quarterback in Eli. So they have to. They're like the little brother, or maybe the step brother of the New York Giants. They're like the Clippers back in the day when the Lakers were winning all those championships, and then don't forget the Clippers play in the same arena.
Right, exactly. So I guess that's a great analogy. It's a great analogy. Look, here's the deal with the Jets. What in the world are they doing bringing in Geno Smith? What it's not it's a bridge QB situation. Obviously, they're waiting to draft a stud QB next year because like we have talked about in previous videos, the draft class coming in terms of QBs for next year is looking solid. But they're not going to win games with Geno Smith. I mean, just when we thought he was the guy in Seattle, he had a bad year last year. I mean, he was on Seattle last year, right? Was he on the Raiders? Am I losing it?
Raiders,
He was on the Raiders. I
yeah,
apologize. But the reason he went to the Raiders was because he had a bad season in Seattle, correct?
yes,
Yeah, so like Geno's not moving
yeah.
there.
One good season in Seattle, then he had a bad season.
Right. And this guy loves to turn the ball over. So Jets fans, get ready. Look, I got them going on their 5.5. I don't think there's much to be said here other than that this defense probably could be decent. I do like Aaron Glenn. I really do like Aaron Glenn. I think he could be a culture mover. But, I mean, Geno Smith's the QB, and he doesn't have many weapons other than Garrett Wilson. So give me the under 5.5 here. What do you think?
Yeah, I just don't see 6 wins. This is going to be a very interesting season for the Jets because I think the Jets and the team are probably going to discuss soon are both going to be looking for a quarterback in next year's draft. So I understand why they didn't draft a quarterback
Me too.
because I thought this was one of the weaker quarterback drafts that we just had, but next year is pretty stacked. So I understand that, but I still can't believe Geno Smith is still a starter in this league and still getting paid in this league. Give me the under.
What's laughable is that some of his worst years were that, like, he was a walking meme when he was with the Jets. So, I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
it's just laughable. Some things really do come full circle. Let's talk about the Dolphins. It's going to be another. I mean, on paper, this is the worst team in the NFL. I mean, they have nobody on offense. They go and get Malik Willis, and like Malik Willis, I think he's a great QB, but in a great system. You know what I mean? He was a good QB in Green Bay when he filled in for Jay Love, but he was in an incredible system. This isn't a good system. You know, you bring in Jeff Henley or Jeff Halfley. I'm not a big fan of him. Okay, and his work is on the defensive side. They get rid of Mike McDaniel. Okay, this offense is going to be awful. You just all you have is Devon Achane. That is literally it. Their receiver room is empty. They have nobody. They have nobody. This is going to be a brutal team to watch. Give me the under 4.5 here as well. I don't see 5 wins for this team. Like I said, the Dolphins and the Arizona Cardinals will be, I think, the two worst teams in football next year.
I agree. And everyone wants to talk about, oh, this Arizona team is the worst team in football. Oh, the Raiders might be the worst team in football. Oh, the Browns might be the worst team in football. We are talking right now the world's worst football team in the NFL. They're 4.5. The juice is juiced all the way up to minus 148 on the under. I see 3 wins. I look back twice to try to find 5 or even 4 wins.
I can't.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in Miami. I feel bad for the Miami fans. At least you have the U. You struck out on LeBron. Yeah, it's a rough. Hey, you got Cuban sandwiches and hot chicks walking around on the beach. So hey, enjoy that. But yeah,
Yeah.
I feel bad for the Dolphins.
Yeah, it's going to be a brutal season for the Dolphins. And I feel bad because I think Malik Willis is actually a good quarterback, but he needs to be in a good system. I mean,
See, I don't even think he's a good. I think he's an average or backup, state of the art backup quarterback. I don't think he's a starting quarterback. I think that I'm more nervous about him being the starter than I am in the wide receiver room or the running backs or the defense. I just don't know if Malik, with that poor offensive line, can do anything out there. I don't even think he finishes the season with the way that offensive line's set up. He'd probably get hurt.
brutal. This is going to be an ugly team to watch. Unders all around. Let's talk about the Patriots, the former AFC championship winners. What's your outlook on the Pats this year? I mean, here's the deal. We talked about this in a previous video. When a team goes to the Super Bowl, their lines are obviously going to be inflated. You know what I mean? And in theory, we talked about it with the Seahawks. We like them to go under. We thought it was an inflated line. What do you think about this line here for the Patriots? And do you see a little regression for them this season?
I really don't. I mean, I think they take a small step backwards. I don't think they're going to be the same team, Super Bowl contending team, Super Bowl visiting team that went there to play the big dance. Wow, total disrespect for 9.5. I really thought this would have been like 10.5. And this is a perfect example by how I miss the old days. Here's me, old man, get off my lawn. This should be a solid 10. Perfect example of a total season wins, a solid 10 with the juiced maybe minus 115 both sides or something like that. But those days are over because we have to have a half point on everything and anything now these days. I can see 10 wins, going 10-7. So if we're talking about the Jets being bad and Miami being bad, we can see both of these two teams having double-digit wins. I like 10 wins from New England. I'm going to take the over.
Fair enough. This was a tough one for me because I can see 10 wins. I went with the under 9.5, but I mean, I think 9 or 10 is a realistic expectation here. I do expect this team to be, in terms of like success, not as they're not going to go to the Super Bowl again this year, but they're going to be a good team. You add Romeo Dobbs, you add AJ Brown, two weapons for Drake May. This defense is going to be solid per usual. You lose Clavion Chason, who was a great player last year, especially in the playoffs. Like I said, I'm rolling with the under 9.5. But when we talk about how the Dolphins and Jets are going to be terrible this year, I mean, in an ideal world, the Patriots are getting 4 wins right there. So I could see them getting 10 wins, but give me the under 9.5. Not so confident in that one though. Let's talk about the Bills. 10.5. They're over under. Joe Brady, new head coach. They shockingly fire Sean McDermott after losing in the AFC championship. No. They lost in the AFC
Yeah,
division against the
division.
Broncos, where that was the game Bo Nix got hurt, if I'm not
Yep.
mistaken. Look, we talked about it in previous videos. When a new play caller comes in, it's going to take a little bit to adjust. But Joe Brady, I think, is an outlier here because Josh Allen's just familiar with him. You know what I mean? Obviously, he's called the plays for the offense, and now he's the head coach. He hasn't had those duties, but this is going to be a smooth transition, in my opinion. And I'm high on the Bills this year. It sounds like a broken record. This could be their year. But I think this could be their year. And then they boosted that defense is going to be nasty. You add D. Alford. You add C.J. Gardner-Johnson, good veteran. You add Bradley Chubb, right? That defense has always let them down in the playoffs. I think this is the year where that does not happen. And I think the Bills are going to win the AFC this year. I really do. I like the Bills to go over 10.5 here. And I think they can win the AFC this year.
Best fans in football, no doubt about it. Bills Mafia. Mafia, if you're listening, don't hate me. I love you guys. You guys are outstanding. But your Super Bowl window is completely shut. I said it last year.
Wow.
Now, do they win the division? I hate laying the minus 121 on it. I hate laying the minus just because anything can happen in this division when you have Drake May and New England, who won the division last year. But you said it, New England, or I'm sorry, yeah, Buffalo bringing in a new head coach. Someone's calling the plays different. New stadium, new baby for the quarterback. We have a new baby for the quarterback. He's a new dad. Stuff like this. So there's so much new. But when they play, it's old. Every year, this is their year. This is their year. I've made the Buffalo Bills to win a Super Bowl so many times as my pick to win a Super Bowl. I'm done. I am completely done. Their window to win a Super Bowl is completely shut in my eyes. I can't do it anymore because they failed me too many times. Do they win a division? I do believe so. Do they make the playoffs? Do they win a game? Yes. But did they dance at the Super Bowl? No.
Wow.
Give me the Bills to win a division, but I am done with them predicting, oh, this is their year. They're going far. Josh Allen is the greatest. No, I can't do it. I can't do it anymore.
It's fair. I mean, that's fair, Ralph. I mean, here's the thing. Like I said, the defense has let them down in the playoffs because Josh Allen's done his job. For being realistic, there's not much more he could do. But they went out and they got some veterans. That this defense is going to be nasty this year. I really do believe that. So, like I said, I'm taking the Bills to win the division too. There's a reason this is minus 138. I also think there's a reason that the Patriots aren't getting the respect by the books, and their line's sitting at 9.5. They're expecting just a little bit of regression from the Patriots. So in that case, the Bills are going to win the division. Lock.
Wow, go. He said the L word. Oh.
Well, that's a wrap on the AFC East. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Make sure you drop a comment, like, and subscribe. And stay tuned for the next video where we are talking about the AFC West. We'll see you then.